Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Andrea Bucket. I'm just gonna wait a little bit to let people hop on here because I know this is probably a new thing for a lot of people and finding my live might be a little bit difficult. So yeah, I'm just gonna give people a few minutes. I'll just start by letting you know we're gonna do oats today. We're talking about Oats 101. I know everyone's looking to comfort foods right now, and oats are definitely a comfort food, but they have a little bit more of a healthy twist to them. So we're gonna talk all about oats. I'm gonna give you some great tips on cooking with them. I'm gonna share some great recipes. The recipes you can always get by going to andreabucket.com on my website. It'll be there. So, welcome to my kitchen. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrea, and I work on the 20th floor with Jeffrey Marshall. I am a chef. I get to cook for the executives, so I love that job. But I also have a business, a food communications business, where I develop recipes for clients. I do a lot of TV and radio appearances and work with different brands to get their message across. I've been very lucky because I've been so busy during this self-isolation period as more people are cooking at home and more people are learning to cook at home. So it's a great time to be in food. So I'm very happy that the social movement asked me to come and be a part of this, and connecting and sharing online is a great way to stay connected with people. So if you are there, if you have questions, please say so. It's great to do a live, but it's also great to have that interaction. So please comment, say hello, ask questions. I have my husband on the other side of the camera. He's my camera guy, and he will be reading your questions. So feel free to ask questions throughout this broadcast, and I will certainly do my best to answer them. So, Trevor, I'm going to ask you, how many people are on right now?
All right, Andrea, good morning. We have 20 people with us as we speak. A couple of people have commented. A good morning from Deb Sky.
Hi, Deb.
Hello from Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Yeah, so those are the few comments we have. And yeah, we are here with a group of people.
Awesome. So, yeah, let me know what questions you have. Just type them down below. And I think we should get started. Okay, so oats. Great comfort food. I love cooking with oats. Oats is a Canadian grain that we grow a ton of here. We also export a lot of it, and it's super good for you, right? So it's a whole grain. It's a complex carbohydrate. It contains great sources of fiber, and it makes you feel full. So there's a few different kinds of oats that you can buy, and I'm going to talk about those throughout the course of this demo. But I thought we'd get started first at the stove with one of my famous recipes, famous in my house, maybe we're world famous one day, and it's my banana bread oatmeal. So Trevor, we are going to head to the stove, and we are going to take some large flake or old-fashioned oats with us. Okay, so this is a fairly straightforward recipe, and this is a nice recipe to do right now because I know a lot of us have a little bit more time in the kitchen. I will show you some recipes that you can do overnight oats, because that's also very popular. But for now, let's get started with this overnight oat recipe. And all the details are on the website at Andrea Bucket Cook, so you can go grab the recipe there if you miss anything in this video. So we're going to start. There's a couple different ways that you can cook oats, or a few different things you can cook oats in. You can do straight up water, or you can do water and milk, or water and a plant-based dairy alternative also works. I like to do milk and water because it just adds a nice richness to the end product. So in my pot here, I have some water and I have some milk, and it's just coming to a boil. Not really a boil. You don't want it to go to a hard boil. You just want it to start simmering. And if you can see in the pot there, their little bubbles are starting to form, and that's what we're looking for. Now I am going to add just a pinch of salt. And that might seem counterintuitive because we're making a sweet dish, but salt always helps to round out the flavor of a sweet dish. And you can make this as sweet or as savory as you like. And I'm just gonna go in, I should have got my, I'm just gonna free pour here because I've made this so often. I sort of have an eye for how much has to go in. So we're gonna use large flaked oats here. And we'll talk about the differences between large flaked oats and steel cut oats as well. And I'm just gonna I'll dump them in there and then give it a quick stir. Okay. So here we go. So we're just giving that a stir, a little bit of salt, a little bit of milk, a little bit of water, and we're gonna bring that up until the oats absorb all that liquid and swell up and get delicious. And I'm also going to add a little bit of cinnamon, okay? Because cinnamon is classic flavoring that goes with oats. And I'm just gonna eyeball that as well. Now I did say that these were my banana bread oats. And I'm gonna show you, this is such a delicious breakfast to have on these cold and damp mornings. I really wish we had a little bit more sunshine right now. It would make things a lot easier. And I'm gonna show you what I do with my bananas. So I'm sure you've all had this happen where you go with the best intentions to the grocery store, you buy a bunch of bananas because they're quick, they're easy, they're filling, and for some reason your family doesn't eat them. So you end up with this. So you can definitely use them to make banana bread. But what I like to do is I like to, once they go a little bit further, because these are actually still okay to eat, in my opinion, if they go a little bit further, you can pop them in the freezer. So a good thing that I like to do is I would take, say these were really dark right now, I would take them all off the stem, open them up, and then smash them all and put them in a Ziploc style bag and then freeze it flat. So then anytime I want a little bit of bananas for banana bread, or for this recipe, for instance, and you don't have ripe bananas on the counter, you can just...
I think great for smoothies too.
Yeah, great for smoothies. This is great for anything. And the freezer is a great way to sort of encapsulate all that food that's going to go off, right? Any kind of produce. And that's really important right now, especially when we're trying to make less grocery store runs and be smarter about the groceries we're buying. So that's a great tip. But because I have some bananas here, I'm going to show you what I do. So that's bubbling along. And I'm just going to peel this guy here and grab a bowl to mix it in. Hopefully I have a bowl here. I was on CP24 this morning, so a lot of my stuff's in the dishwasher. And this amount here will serve about 2 people. So about half a cup of oats per person. So I'm gonna use a whole banana. Just gonna pop that in my bowl and grab a fork. And I'm just gonna smash it. All right, really straightforward. Now I love the flavor of maple syrup. You know, to me it's a better flavor than just say brown sugar, but you could certainly use brown sugar or honey for this. Also, I don't tend to like things too sweet, so I'm just gonna add about a tablespoon of maple syrup, and of course that banana will really add to the sweetness. Someone else might like 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. You are the boss in your own kitchen, so you can do whatever you like there. So once this is almost cooked, which this is almost there, we're gonna let that go a little bit and we're gonna talk about overnight oats. But we're just going to really just put that banana in there. Now you can do the same thing with like grated apple would be delicious. Right, apple and cinnamon is a great combo.
Andrea, quick question from May.
Yes.
Will the recipe be shared later for those that need more precision?
Yes, so if you go to andreabucket.com and just search up banana bread oatmeal, the recipe will come up there, and there's a PDF, you can print it off. So you can go and get it there anytime. So this is the banana bread oats. It's going to take a little bit longer to cook, so I do want to talk about overnight oats, and we'll talk about the different types of oats. So let's head back to the counter, Trout. And let me know if you're there. Say hello, give a wave out. Okay, so oats, very popular. Flaked oats, steel cut oats, quick cooking oats, which is one that I don't have, Irish oats, Scottish oats. There's a lot of different kinds, but the majority that we see in the grocery store are typically a steel cut oat, a large flaked oat, and then the instant oats. So the only difference is in terms of how they're processed and then how long they're going to take to cook. Okay, so steel cut oats are obviously, you can see more of the oat groat. So the oat groat is what comes off the plant, and then it's taken to the processing plant, and this is cut with a steel cutter, and you're getting a lot of fiber there. You don't lose a lot of the fiber from the plant. And those are steel cut oats, but they take a little bit longer to cook. Having said that, you can expedite the process by doing a quick cook the night before. So if you put a cup of the steel cut oats in about, I think it's 3 or 4 cups of water. I'll have to get back to you on that. So if you have questions, remind me to let the social movement know, and I'll send that out next week. And you cook them for a minute in boiling water, turn it off and let it sit, and then you can just divvy it out into individual little containers, and then you can have steel cut oats every day, and then you can flavor them as you go. So steel cut oats are good because they're higher in fiber than the other variety, which is the flaked oat. Now, what they do with these oat groats to make flake oats is they steam them and then they roll them to make them flat, which increases the surface area and then of course decreases the amount of time it takes to cook them. And then of course with the quick cooking oats, they're pressed even further and cut up so the cooking time is reduced. Now we know that oats are a great source of fiber. In particular, insoluble fiber, which they're known for, is beta-glucan. And beta-glucan is great for cholesterol. It's also known to help with prebiotics. So it does help in the gut, which 60% of our immune system resides in the gut. So it's great to have oatmeal as a healthy whole grain in your diet. Okay, I'm going to check on this. Any questions out there?
Not yet, no. People are just watching right now.
That's great. Okay, so another tip I want to give you, we're going to make some overnight oats, and overnight oats are really popular, especially as we come into the warmer weather, keeping our fingers crossed for the warmer weather. It's nice to grab and go when we were going places, but it's still a nice thing to do the night before. It's a nice way to enjoy oatmeal that's not a hot cereal and it's a cold cereal. So a little tip I like to have is if you have a peanut butter jar and you come down to the end of the peanut butter jar, don't throw it out. You're going to use it to make overnight oats. Okay. Now, of course, any nut butter would do, almond butter, sesame butter, all those things would work as the end of the jar. A jam jar would work really well for this, just to add a little extra flavor. But of course, you could certainly make it in a just a plain container and then divvy it out as you go, and you can add all kinds of flavorings. So, the rule of thumb for an overnight oat is a 1-to-1 ratio of liquid to oats. And then I add about a half a cup of yogurt.
All right, we're getting some comments here, Andrea.
Okay.
All right, so first of all, Suzanne Avanesi says, good information.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Sam,
Yes, Sam.
is asking you, how many PC products are you using in this loaf? It's not a loaf, is it?
Oh, in the oatmeal.
In the oatmeal.
Oh, PC. Well, I've got PC maple syrup. I've got no name cinnamon. I've got no name large flake oats. This is actually no name peanut butter.
Okay.
Lots
so
of products.
4 to 5.
Yep.
All right. Now we have one more question here from Heather.
Okay.
Heather from the 8th floor.
Hi, Heather from the 8th floor.
Slightly off topic here, but what is that appliance over there between the coffee maker and the mixer? That's our toaster.
Oh, this is our toaster. It's streamlined because counter space is of the utmost importance. So this actually is nice because it just slides in there.
And one more question from June Hamilton. Can you add the oats in the morning of rather than the night before so they remain crispier?
Not really. I mean, if you want a crispy style oat, I would suggest making like a homemade granola. Incidentally, Jeffrey Marshall has a great recipe for homemade granola. So if Jeffrey, you're watching, maybe we can send that out. But oatmeal is really made to be, maybe it's a texture thing with you, June. Maybe you don't love the texture of oatmeal, but when you cook it or when you do it overnight, it does become soft, and sort of that's the characteristic of it. So you could totally just take your flaked oats and make a granola, and that would be similar. And when you do it at home, you can control the amount of sugar and fat and all those things that go into it.
Okay.
I hope that helped. Okay, so on with the overnight oats. So like I said, you could do it in a peanut butter jar, but you could absolutely just do it in one of these containers. Okay, and the ratio for that is 1 part oats, and you do want the rolled oats for this. You don't want the steel cut oats for this. To 1 part liquid. This is what I was going to use, but I don't think this fits in here. Do you think I can make this fit? Oh, it does fit. Okay, just to help the situation here.
So, Andrea, while you're doing that, can oats be blended into powder and eaten raw in a protein shake?
Great question. That's a great question.
And that's from somebody, and that's
Yes.
their name, somebody.
Okay, somebody. That's great. Yes, oats. So oats are really hot right now. So oat milk, oat flour. You can buy oat flour, which is just what you said, which is ground up oats. And you can bake with it. Again, really high in fiber, nice to sort of swap out half of your white flour for half oat flour. And oat milk is really hot right now as well in terms of a vegetarian or a plant-based alternative to dairy. And oat milk is actually a more sustainable product than something like almond milk, which takes up obviously a lot of resources. I'm talking about water. And it's Canadian, right? Oats are Canadian. I think Canada produces something like, I wrote this down, let me tell you here. It's like 3 million tons a year. Okay, it's 3 million tons a year, and that's a lot of oats. Okay, and the oats need cold weather to grow, and of course, well, got lots of cold weather. Okay, so let's go in. We did a cup of oats, flaked oats. We actually did about 3/4 of a cup. And we're gonna put about the same amount, not about, the exact same amount of milk in there. You could also use oat milk and double up on your oats here. We're gonna put a little bit of cinnamon in there. I mean, at your house, I mean, you can just, you put nutmeg in there as well. Cocoa would be good in here if you're a fan of like peanut butter and chocolate flavors. And cocoa powder is actually really good for you. The natural variety, it has a ton of antioxidants, so you don't have to feel quite so bad about having a little bit of chocolate with your breakfast. Okay, so that's in there. We've got the milk, and I'm gonna put some yogurt in there as well. And the yogurt will help to add a little bit more protein. Oh, look at this, Sam. I'm gonna pull this out because, look at that. Well, don't let them look inside my fridge. That's
another
awful personal.
PC product.
Another PC product. So for those of you who don't know, I do work on the 20th floor with Jeffrey, but I started with Loblaws years ago, and I actually worked for Loblaws cooking schools, and that was an amazing job, and I loved that job. So.
Okay, Andrew. So back to those blending the powder,
Yes.
right? The oats. Somebody would like to know: can I eat them raw though, or do they need cooking?
So I actually have a recipe that is, it's a chocolate peanut butter bar, and it uses oat flour as the base, and it's oat flour and peanut butter and then melted chocolate, and you don't actually have to cook it. You don't actually have to cook them.
So for a
usually
shake?
No, for a shake, absolutely. You could put these in a shake with whatever you like and make a delicious shake. Pears and oats, because oats are creamy. So I think pears and oats and cinnamon, or you could do like peanut butter and oats if you like that. I'm not a big fan of like a peanut butter shake in the morning, but I know a lot of people love it, with a little bit of your protein powder. And then you're gonna get, the thing with smoothies most of the time is that a lot of people just strictly use fruit, and that's a lot of sweet for a lot of people. And so if you put something like flaked oat in there, and I would use the flaked oats for that, not necessarily the steel cut oats, you're getting the complex carbohydrates and a little bit of protein and trace minerals and B vitamins. So I'm a big fan of that. So you don't necessarily have to use a sweetener in here because the peanut butter is the sweetener. But again, honey, maple syrup, a touch of brown sugar, and oops, if you have fruit, I should show you my fruit drawer over here. Over here, this is good. I am a sucker for frozen fruits and vegetables. I love them, especially right now. And I know some people are weary of using frozen fruits and vegetables, but there's a specific way to use them to get the most out of them. So we have the wild blueberries I love. Another one that I love is the super fruit blend, and I use that a lot. You could just put these in the bottom of that container for the overnight oats as well and have them, but we are going to use them for our other oats.
Carol Robotham is here. She misses working with you on the 20th floor kitchen.
Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining us.
And great information.
Oh, Carol might be able to tell us. Okay, Carol, I was trying to tell everybody how to do the overnight steel cut oats. So it's 1 cup of steel cut oats. Is it 4 cups of water? And you bring it to a boil. You put the oats in and you cook them for 1 minute and you take them off the heat, right? Just if you can verify what the ratio is for the overnight steel cut oats, that'd be great. But it'll work. You didn't even know it. Okay, so this is it for the overnight oats. 1-to-1 ratio, milk.
So it does look a little runny.
Yeah, so what'll happen is throughout the evening or overnight, the oats will swell as they absorb all that liquid.
Nice.
Okay, so that can go in the fridge just like this.
I'll take that to lunch tomorrow or for breakfast.
Yep, great breakfast. Awesome. Well, I'm not doing a very good job of closing that. Okay, and then of course nuts and seeds, hemp hearts, whatever you want to do, you can do that now. Chia seeds, or you can do it in the morning.
Okay, Carol's gotten back to us. Just under 3 3/4 cups of water is ideal.
So it's 3 3/4 cups of water. You put it up to the boil. You add 1 cup of the steel cut oats. Boil them for a minute. Take it off the heat, let them cool, and then put them into individual jars. And then you can have overnight steel cut oats done that way.
Right. And now Mei Liu says she puts the big flake oats in her shake.
Yes.
Lets them sit for about 15 minutes so they soften up a little.
Exactly. Great. Great. And you can speed up the process of cooking flaked oats by soaking them overnight if you wanted to do that and you thought about it. Sometimes it's a little bit too late. We don't think about it. Okay. Let's see how this is doing. There we go. I might have left it a little bit too long unattended. You do want to stir it every so often. But I wish we had smell-o-vision, because the smell of the banana and the maple syrup, it's such a comfort food, and it's a great thing to have in the morning. And then I like to top it off with some nuts and seeds. So this isn't opened yet. I just finished my last.
Oh, I've got a question.
Okay.
No, it's directed to me, Andrea.
Oh.
Sam wants to know how the vegetable chowder tasted this morning. Well, Sam, I did not taste it yet, but I've had it before, and it's really good.
So Sam's referring to my CP24 segment I did this morning, where I talked about easy lunch ideas for people at home. We did a creamy vegetable. Okay, so this is how I'd serve this. Even if you don't thaw these, and incidentally, frozen berries for me, way better than fresh berries, especially when the fresh berries are out of season. They last longer, they're just as nutritious, and often they taste better than fresh berries that are out of season. So, and you know how fast berries can go off. So love, love, love these frozen berries of any kind. So these are frozen. Yes, you're thinking, oh God, you're putting frozen berries in with your oatmeal. But what we're going to do is we're going to, this is delicious, we're just going to put those oats on top there. And they're super hot, so they'll actually end up thawing the berries just enough. You know, you might want to give it 2 minutes. And now we're going to top it. So you can top it. My preference is walnuts. You could certainly use pecans. That would be great. I just like to crush those up. If you can't have nuts, or you don't have nuts in your house for some reason, you could certainly use pepitas or pumpkin seeds. So pepitas are the green seeds that you find inside the white hull of the pumpkin seed. And then of course, I would be remiss if I didn't grab my President's Choice maple syrup for one last drizzle of deliciousness. Awesome. So I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about. We talked about the different types of oats, how to cook them. We talked about some of the health benefits associated with the oats. To store oats, you really just want to store them in an airtight container, and they will last for up to 18 months. Of course, you can make bars with them. I think date squares, cereal with them. You can put them in your smoothies. I love, if you like something with a little bit more chew, go for the steel cut oats. And incidentally, steel cut oats has a little bit more of the oat bran left intact, which will give you a little bit more fiber, but tons of fiber, insoluble and soluble, keep you full for a longer period of time. Delicious. Shall we try that?
Let's have a look at it, yeah. Tammy McGregor says it looks delicious. Let us know, Andrea.
Yeah.
How are those berries on the bottom?
So the berries are, you'll start to see them, they're gonna start to like infuse their color into the oatmeal because as they're melting.
June Hamilton Smith says it looks awesome. She can almost taste it.
Yes. So guys, if you're watching here, the team at The Social Movement has done a really great job of keeping us all connected. So Sam, if Sam is watching, Sam, can you comment below as to what you want people to do next? You know, comment on Yammer and let us know what you would like to see. Are you interested in maybe doing a cook-along if that's something that we can facilitate? What are other topics you're interested in learning about? Did you enjoy this session? If there's anything else that I missed, Sam, please comment below. Like I said earlier, you can head to andreabucket.com for this recipe. And if you want to, you can head to Facebook tonight. I'll be live at 7.
All right, Andrea. So Suzanne knows what she's having for breakfast tomorrow now.
Amazing.
And Sam has a question for both you and I.
Okay.
I'll go first because you're the food expert and I'm not. So, if you were a utensil in the kitchen,
Oh, wow.
which utensil would you be and why? So, I'm not really a utensil, but I would be the bread knife, the one that cuts the bread, the very versatile knife. Great for buttering toast.
It's not, Sam. Okay.
It's an all-round
No.
knife. I use it for everything.
Yeah, that's the problem. This
Cutting
is not
chicken.
No.
Oh yeah, it's the best knife. Tomatoes. It's just so all-round perfect.
No, it's good for knives. It's good for tomatoes and bread. It's
Fair
not good for
enough.
chicken.
Andrea, your answer?
If I was a utensil in the kitchen, this is a funny question.
Which would you be and why?
Okay, I would be, I know what I'd be. I'm going to pick one of my favorite utensils other than my chef's knife. I would be my microplane, because a microplane adds a little zip, a little flavor, a little pizzazz to everything.
Yes, it does. It heightens everything, doesn't it?
So I hope that's what I've done for you today, is added a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of flavor into your day.
Okay, Andrea, one more question from Heather McGrath.
Yes, Heather.
Hoping you'll post the recipe for the oat peanut butter chocolate bars.
Okay, yeah, let me find that, and what I'll do is I'll send that over to the social movement team.
Sam's loving it. Great.
Sam, are we good? Anything else that I missed? This is our first one. I hope you loved it. It's my first time doing a YouTube live, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you took away some tips and tricks that you can use in your own kitchen, and I hope you're cooking just a little bit more for the ones that you are staying isolated with. Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again. Bye.